So, how have you described paladins in this encyclopedia of yours, Nenyo? I bet it's something like bullheaded and boring warriors fixated on the principles of goodness and fairness. That's how the world sees us, right?
My definition is something like noble warriors, defenders of the dejected and the downtrodden, who display an aversion to evil in all its manifestations. But your version is also good. I'll add it in.
So, Wendwog, how you settling in? Found any new friends to stab in the back?
You have so little trust in others, Lan. Especially for someone who sees himself as a goody-goody.
La la la. One more day, and I'm still alive. Everyone dies, and I don't even get sick. Why is that?
Despite their differences, your parents truly loved each other. How I wish I could experience that kind of love.
You don't know what you're wishing for. The best outcome from that kind of love is a good-looking child like me. The worst outcome? Well, let's just say no love is worth that.
You say you love to have fun, but your eyes don't look happy at all. Why are you lying?
Oh, seer, you have glimpsed my secret sorrow. I admit it. I have the ability to feel more than one emotion at any given moment.
Your people have suffered greatly, but they never forgot their mission. It's astonishing how strong mortals can be when they have hope.
My people would be surprised to hear you say that. Mongrels lost any hope they had a long time ago. They're just afraid to admit it.
You're so beautiful and kind. But I think you're sad all the time. Why is that?
Those who stick their snotty noses in other people's business can get very sad themselves.
Camellia is a plant, right? Something like water hemlock?
And lawn is some specimen of underground fauna, like a horned toad.
People stay at public inns, sleeping among strangers unarmed. Do they know what easy prey they make?
That's a good thing. It makes my job much simpler.
It's sad that your mom died, but it's good that she didn't see the terrible things you were forced to live through. Every cloud has a silver lining, doesn't it?
It does indeed. For instance, when you die, the world will be free of one hideous, foolish girl.
Do you know what I like, old Reggie? You know that all the talk about the crusades and good deeds and true friendship ain't worth nothing. You don't try to deceive anyone. You're a rock, Grandpa Reggie, unshakable. You have my respect.
Take your hands off my coin pouch and keep them where I can see them.
You there, beggar. Would you like some fried meat? With crackling, just the way you like it. I'll keep watch to make sure it doesn't get burnt.
Thank you, Camellia. But I don't like fried meat. You probably confused me with someone else.
You were asking me about the most remarkable place I've ever been to. It's got to be Absalom, center of the world. People of all stripes, from hundreds of different cultures, living side by side.
Really? Huh. Maybe even my face wouldn't stand out in a crowd that big. I wouldn't mind seeing that place someday.
Come on, Paladin, let's see how you do against me. I want to see what you're like when you're up against a decent opponent. I want to feel the strength of our hands, to see the fire in your eyes, to see the moment when your rage takes over. It will be a good fight, I promise.
It sounds like you're asking me out on a date.
Smells good. What is it?
I accidentally threw a moldy log on the fire.
I thought gnomes were silly little moles who only knew how to enjoy themselves. I didn't know there were any worthwhile people among them.
Your ignorance of surface people is telling.
Stop saying you're loyal to the commander. I don't believe a single word that comes out of your mouth.
Then you stop talking about how hideous you are, or else I'll start thinking you're fishing for compliments.
I analyzed the aerodynamic properties of your wings, demon girl. My conclusion? They are incapable of flight.
And yet they do fly. I hope this isn't the only time I manage to violate the laws of the universe.
Don't you trust me, Paladin? Are you wondering how to bring my wayward soul into the fold?
I'm thinking about who I would have become if I'd made the wrong choice a long time ago.
Vagrant, you sleep on the street, wear rags, and all of your friends are beggars. There's dirt and disease all around you. You belong in an infirmary.
Thank you, Camellia. You're so caring.
Don't even think of coming near my tent unless you want an arrow between the eyes.
Subtle. Are you sure it's hatred that's provoking such a strong reaction in you, Lan?
Nenyo, I'm amazed by your energy and zest for life. Every time I look at you, you're running around, noting something down, spouting one new idea after another. How do you manage it?
I simply enjoy what I do. If life's not like that for you, perhaps you're in the wrong line of work.
If you don't manage to kill yourself doing one of your experiments, somebody else will definitely do it for you.
You are sorely mistaken. My scientific undertaking will be universally applicable and useful to everyone, so it is not in the interest of any of Galarian's inhabitants to hinder my work. This is clear to everyone, yes?
Your place is on a gallows, thief, and not in a company of crusaders.
Ooh, going for the gallows today? Very nice. Did you get lucky last night or something? Usually you're threatening me with a pyre.
Hill Knights have no dignity. You're just slaves, happy to serve your masters.
Dignity is the ability to perform your duty in your assigned place, and it doesn't matter if it's the place of a slave or a ruler.
You don't value the lives of your soldiers at all. You'd send a fighter to certain death without a second thought.
Your job is to heal, not give advice. I hope I don't live to see the day I take lessons from winemakers, tavern keepers, and tailors.
Your ancestors were so weak-willed that they let demons use them. You are the proof of their disgrace.
Not my ancestors. My old gran it was. She got up to some wild stuff in her day, and I'm one of the less disgraceful episodes.
If people's appearance reflected their inner life, no one would leave the house without a mask, and nobles wouldn't leave without a cloak concealing their entire body.
I wouldn't say your appearance reflects your mind. If that were true, you'd be the size of a mouse.
Statistics indicate the girl demon will be attractive to 82% of female individuals on Galarian and 97% of male individuals.
Oh, I'm flattered. Thank you. But let's not bring this up again.
Your shadow. Why did the Inquisitors of Canabras not investigate you?
The paladins told him there was no problem, and while the two lots of them were having a barney over it, I took off. Sorry to disappoint, Reggie.
The laboratory of the architect of the world wound? It's as terrifying as the House of Horrors at a village fete.
Brave words, but you're looking a little pale there.
Well, as soon as I walked in, I felt right at home, as one of the specimens.
I almost befriended those girls, but they turned out not to be real. What a pity.
What will you do when the war is over? I'd like to return to my manor and put it to rights. You could help me make a garden around it.
Tempting, but I too want to return home. You should see the gardens we have in Andoran.
A demon cannot repent and fight in the crusade against demons. It is absurd.
Desna granted me a miracle, and miracles are always absurd.
I never thought I'd find myself fighting shoulder to shoulder with a Hell Knight. To be honest, I'd avoid it if I could.
You lack foresight. A skilled healer and a skilled fighter is an effective combination.
Keep 'em peeled, Paladin. Round and round we go. Where it stops, nobody knows. No trick, no magic, just nimble fingers. Watch closely now. We don't want no hard feelings later. 1, 2, one more time, and hey, presto! Well, which cup is the pee under?
Seriously? Out of everybody in the party, you picked me? I learned the cups and balls trick before I could talk, you little punk. Now sit down and let Sister Sela show you how it's done.
You became a paladin because some lady didn't wear a helmet one time? I suppose, fine, so you stole her helm, but come on, they're paladins, they're rich. Don't tell me there wasn't a spare helmet lying around someplace. And what about armorers and all that?
I'm this close to forgetting that paladin code I swore to uphold. Hornhead. Take the hint, will you?
Have you ever considered confessing your sins to someone? It may ease your burden.
If I did decide to make a confession, which will never happen, by the way, I'd pick an old military chaplain for the job. Somebody who knows what I'm talking about. Not a young lad whose worst sin is sleeping through morning prayers.
Pearls of wisdom from Brother Woljef. Thievings is next to frugality, because a stolen thing's much cheaper than a bought thing.
You say the priests of Shaylin revere beauty, but not once have you asked to paint my portrait. Why?
I made several attempts, but none of my sketches were satisfactory. There is something in you that eludes my brush.
You say you despise the notion of family, but you call your fellow thieflings brother and sister, and you even call me Uncle Greybore sometimes. Don't you see the contradiction there?
People like it when you talk to them like your old pals. Like if I say uncle enough times. Maybe you'll have mercy on me and decide not to murder me in my sleep.
You are a skilled archer, but you sometimes lack discipline.
Please, if I get any more disciplined, I'll have to ask the commander's permission to sneeze.
How does that little old gnome manage to be so titchy and so terrifying all at once? It's the eyes, the crazy eyes and the pasty skin.
And the excellent hearing. Speak clearly or stop mumbling.
How's it work then? You're Hell Knights, but you don't bow down to devils? Nice setup you got there. But then what's this got to do with hell? I don't get it.
We obey the Order's code to create a world in which demon spawn don't run their mouths.
Why are you staring at me like that? I'm just relaxing after a long day, smoking my pipe, not bothering anyone.
All I see is a hardened killer relaxing, a hardened killer smoking his pipe, and a hardened killer not bothering anyone. It's obvious you're up to something.
I believe Iomade is behaving exactly like Cousin Galfrey. She's pushing me towards some supposedly vaunted position as a means of punishing me.
You know, before I used to have terrible sneezing fits caused by certain grasses, and now the sneezing stopped. Do you think that's because of the new power too?
It's great, fighting and all that stuff, but I wish I'd gotten some invisibility. Just a pinch, even a third-rate kind. Come on, Iomade, please.
I don't care where this power comes from. I want more. More.
You aren't from a noble family, right? You were taught to fight and read prayers, but I can pick a street rat out of a crowd of aristocrats.
Right, and they keep looking at me like I'm about to blow my nose on the curtains, especially the ones whose nightly services don't go any further than marching in parades.
Did you break another one of the straps on your armor? Here, let me show you another knot. It's just as good, but it won't fray so quickly.
Whoa, thanks. Show me that again.
Don't stray from the campfire. If you do, I will consider it an attempt to flee.
I don't have anywhere to run to, but I don't want to cause you unnecessary alarm.
Before we eat, I need to test the food for poison or sedative.
Why am I not surprised that you say that while looking directly at me?
You must have seen and done many horrific things in your line of work. You have my sympathy. I'm sure your dreams are haunted by the dead.
No, actually, I sleep like a baby. Nightmares, fits of conscience, and all that, that's for amateurs. A professional has got to be able to do the job without taking it to heart.
You're so sure that your beauty and softly spoken ways will always save you. The day will come when they are not enough.
But when that day comes, the spirits of Socorus will come to my aid.
It'll be tough getting a helmet to fit you, but we can't leave your head unprotected.
Just as long as it doesn't have a visor. Or how else am I meant to scare the enemy?
My life is unfolding most unexpectedly. These demons chose Canabres of all places, and now of all times. Because of them, my life has changed in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, yours and the lives of everybody else in Canabres. You're talking like the demons came here just to inconvenience you.
Perhaps it will be the start of a wonderful new life for you? Although, the utter devastation we're surrounded by does raise some doubts.
Thanks to the demons, you can now go for strolls wherever you want. Isn't that good?
You have the blood of a demon in you. A powerful demon, too, since you're skilled in magic. You can share some of your power with me. I will get the demon seed, and you'll get a good time.
You're all right, love. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm actually celibate, me. Took a vow of chastity. I'd show you my chastity belt, but, well, wouldn't want to tempt you.
Are all cities on the surface as huge as this? In Canabres, our tribe would be like a drop in the ocean. It's hard to even picture what Neurosian must be like.
I should think that Neurosian, being of far grander proportions, is a much more refined city. One which offers more than just cheap public houses and lowbrow entertainments for the rabble.
How simple it is to astonish a cave dweller. I suppose you even sleep with your nose pressed against the ground. So terrified are you of the sky and the horizon? I'm right, aren't I?
Neurosian! When the war's over, you'll see it. There's always lots going on there, and there's even a few good inns where we can celebrate our victory in style.
Everybody condemns Nora. I know. But deep down, I understand her. She had nowhere to go. At least the demons gave her some kind of purpose in life.
I have thought a lot about her betrayal, but I feel pity rather than hatred for her. Horrific lives lead many people to commit horrific acts.
She is a traitor, of course, but if she wanted to come back and promise to make things right, I wouldn't execute her.
I am not surprised that a traitor shows compassion to a fellow traitor. Nora Dendawar deserves death.
She got caught, silly little fool. If you can't hunt stealthily, don't go after the big game.
Ugh, I can't get that tune out of my head. Damn tavern songs. My sword is an extension of my arm. My sword is an extension of my arm. So, is my plumage an extension of my head? Focus, Sela.
Demon girl, I need you to kiss me. This is motivated by scientific rather than romantic interest. Just let me get my chronometer and we can begin.
You're insane! What are you planning to measure? The time it takes for me to kill you with a kiss? Don't ever ask me to do anything like that ever again.
See, I look at you and I think maybe my old granddaddy was an incubus, some distant relation of yours. Both our horns are similar enough. We both have dark hair. You're a succubus, and I'm also as handsome as they come.
You're looking for similarities with demons, but I like that you look more like a human than one of us.
Lad, I know you grew up in caves, but you need to work on how you present yourself to the world. Strangers are going to judge you on things like that.
Okay, do you think that if I dress myself up and learn how to give a graceful bow, I can stop people from noticing that I'm half lizard?
Why are you going around telling everyone I look like a spider, you horn-headed lowlife?
I never said you looked like a spider. I said you are a spider. A nasty carnivorous spider. Ow! That hurts!
What's the alcohol situation underground? Do you have anything to drown your sorrows in?
You bet. Mold brew is a gourmet's dream, and tourists from Absalom used to come to us for our mushroom infusion.
So uplanders value money so much that you can even buy their respect with enough coins. And if someone takes away your money, you lose all that respect?
Respect? You can buy yourself love with enough coin. But not for a hideous beast like you. There's no price high enough for that.
How about some tea, Greybor?
Hold on. Did you just offer me some tea? Without forcing me to listen to a 3-hour sermon on my wayward life, you're learning, lad. Of course I'll have some.
You're great at healing people. Maybe you could help out at an infirmary.
Plumping pillows for wounded paladins is one thing, but constantly wading through the gore and stench? Not a chance.
No, you're wrong. There are treants in the desert, too. Garundis call them tabongos.
You're kidding me. Fine, I lose, which means I drink. Next, I bet that in all of Galarion, a sentient slime has never held any government post.
I am continuing my efforts to identify and record paladin curse words. Hey, paladin girl, I covered your armor with soot again, and I slashed your cloak and spat in your soup. Well, I think it was your soup. I can't be 100% certain.
Nenio, fine, but just for you. Are you listening? Are you ready? Bullshit. Feel better now?
No discipline, no chain of command. A queen who trusts anyone off the street? This is a circus, not a crusade. It is an enigma to me how Mendev has functioned up until now.
Pearls of wisdom from Brother Woljif. If you're going to be napping dogs, go for the smaller ones. The smaller the pup, the bigger the ransom.
You're a true warrior. You have what matters most. Backbone. Unyielding, like a rod of iron.
If hard iron in your body is what makes a true warrior, then my bow turns enemies into true warriors every battle.
Listen, Lan. Do not take offense at my words. They are well intended. Ambivalence and regret are like poison to a soldier's morale. You must put aside your grudge against fate and your fear of death before it's too late.
I get it. You're talking based on experience. But be honest. You had a choice to fight against the bleaching or to accept it. I never had a choice. I'm going to die soon no matter what I do.
Why are you still clinging to false hope? Your brother is long gone. Nobody is going to find him. Don't be pathetic. Accept it.
I have faith that I will find him, but I'm not forcing anyone to follow my example. This is my burden alone. You don't need to concern yourself with it.
Good night, Arushale. I hope you have a dream tonight. Any dream. It's so wonderful not to be alone anymore. Desna, patroness of travelers, I thank you for bringing our paths together.
They say the worthiest fighters become devils in hell. If it's true, it's only fair. Lazy fighters can retire, but for true warriors, death is no reason to shirk one's duty.
Perhaps, if we survive this, I shall invite you to one of my soirees. We can devise an exotic backstory for you, and everyone will lose their heads over you, literally licking up to you, ignorant all the while that you are but a petty thief from Canabres. It will be a riot!
Then I want to be the Prince of Garund, or maybe the King. It's a tough choice.
It must be a lot of fun living in a tribe, like one big family.
People watching your every move, sticking their noses into your business, telling you how to live. Yes, it was fun, fun, fun.
Come at me with scissors again, and it may be the last thing you do.
I don't quite understand what you mean, gnome boy. Reformulate your proposition about the possibility of my death more clearly. And turn around. I need to cut off a lock of your bleached hair to compare it to the unbleached sample.
Demons are so odd. They do bad things. They eat people and hang them from hooks. But how can that even be good for the demons? Evil can't lead to happiness. It only leads to more evil.
Demons do only that which brings them pleasure. People are capable of doing that which duty commands. But for some reason, they often stray down the demon's path.
They live as they are accustomed to live. It is very difficult to turn away from the path you have followed your whole life. For some, it is utterly impossible.
I've never thought about it, to be honest. All I think of whenever I see a demon is, can I hit it between the eyes?
I'm watching you, Nenio. When you make one wrong move, I'll be right there to see it. But just know that I've got my eye on you. Always.
Well then, you can swat the flies away while I sleep.
You are dangerous, out of control, and unteachable. Your experiments are reckless. People like you should be locked up or tossed straight on the pyre. You are an Aurilu Vorlesh in the making.
Thank you for the compliment, Gnome Boy. In truth, I have a long way to go to match the great Lady Vorlesh, but your comparison has filled me with renewed zeal.
Strength gives the right to life. If you're weak, sooner or later you will become prey. People who sit around hoping they'll be saved are pathetic fools. And when we should be off killing demons, instead we have to go and save their useless hides.
Out of curiosity, Greybor, how much do you charge for your services?
A lot. But if my prospective client washes my dishes at the campsite and budges up to give me a dry spot for my tent, I can offer a discount.
I wish your father was still alive. I'd shake some sense into him. What was he thinking dragging a child into war?
Yes, I'd like for my dad to be alive, too.
You are trustworthy, Greybor. I could recommend you for an induction into the Order of the Scar. Those worthy Hell Knights hunt down killers. Your skills and experience would prove useful to them.
Thank you. But I'm done taking orders and listening to lectures about discipline. I got enough of that during my training. I prefer to answer to no one but myself.
I do not understand you, Hell Knights. Your life is nothing but restrictions, prohibitions, regulations. I see sticks aplenty. But where, pray tell, are the carrots? What are you doing all this for?
Our carrot is our sense of inner satisfaction and knowledge that what we are doing is right. As regards to the stick, that's always necessary.
Why are my boots wet and slimy? They were dry when I left them here a moment ago, and oddly enough, I prefer them that way.
I conducted an experiment. Did you know that footwear is completely unusable as a foodstuff, even footwear made from high-quality leather?
Tell me your snootiness, that amulet of yours, the medallion, whatever, is it worth a lot? I'm just asking out of interest, making polite conversation.
My amulet is priceless. Unlike your head.
Do you think you're better than me because you're from a noble line? You were raised in captivity, but I grew up free, able to do what I wanted.
Oh yes, you were able to sleep on cold rock, and now you fancy to change to this one. I, on the other hand, sadly had to endure sleeping on a bed the size of your entire encampment. I must say, your undisguised envy is really quite charming.
So, your Auntie Hapsamira is a cow, your great-grandfather Baphomet is a goat. So how come you're a little lamb?
Huh? What do you... the horns. Gotcha. I don't know, but I hope to all the gods the story doesn't start. One day Baphomet was walking through a pasture.
The demons just seem to keep coming and coming recently. Like there's no end to them. If things keep going this way, the Queen will have to gift me a tract of land, because there won't be enough gold in the country's coffers to pay for my services rendered.
I haven't made a confession for a long time. Of course, we have different goddesses, but still. Could you listen to my confession?
Of course. Let's go somewhere we won't be overheard.
What's the point of being a member of an order whose masters are far from here, when you could simply set out on your own and deal with enemies however you want?
An order is a powerful alliance. It does not offer absolute freedom. It offers a purpose.
You need to take better care of yourself, Ember.
But then I'll be less able to take care of other people.
You were observing me earlier whilst I was practicing with my rapier, Daron. Did you find it a captivating sight?
Oh, indeed. As captivating as a dancing cobra, a rushing avalanche, or a raging thunderstorm. And just as with those natural phenomena, it is important to do two things: enjoy the view and keep one's distance.
You shouldn't be angry that you're a tiefling. Tieflings are made when a human and a demon love each other so much that they become a mommy and a daddy.
I don't know what the deal was with Granny and old Granddaddy, some creepy ritual or pure animal lust, yuck, or whatever those cultists call it, but I could tell you now there was no love or talk of mommies and daddies.
By the way, did you know that the amount of money in an individual's possession is directly proportional to the number of secrets that individual is hiding?
A most intriguing observation. I say, let's try to guess the secrets my cousin Galfrey is hiding.
There is unique beauty in you. If only your features weren't eternally set in that harsh expression.
Do you really think that, priest? Oh, woe is me, let me go and have a cry in my tent.
Ouch! I broke a nail. It must be nice to be a knight like you. You can clip your nails short and not wear any makeup. And no one says a thing.
So what would happen if you didn't wear any makeup? Would the demons refuse to die because you're not looking the part?
It's easy to do tricks like me. First, you need to think of something good, about how you want to help somebody, and then, poof! Try it. It'll work for you too.
I find it easier to imagine the bodies of my enemies laid out all around me. Will that do?
You were raised in a good family and lived among good people in your tribe. Why are you turning your back on everything they tried to teach you?
Because only idiots like you chase after the thing that makes them weaker.
A brother is a person who has similar genes to you. His personality, behavior, and moral principles are distinct. Losing him means eliminating the need to cooperate with a person imposed on you by your family.
If you thought speaking of this in such blunt terms would shock me into discussion, you were wrong.
War, dirt, dust, smoke, swill instead of food. These horrible tents instead of a normal bedroom. But then again, there are so many opportunities for fun.
You're much younger than me, but you seem so much wiser. Sometimes I feel like a child compared to you.
Immortals mature differently than ordinary humans. Even Shaylin's views changed over time. It took her millennia to understand that true beauty is not on the outside, but within.
Everything being on fire makes me feel bad. It makes me think sad thoughts about something that happened a long time ago. But fire is a good thing. It makes people warm. It doesn't deserve for people to think bad things about it.
Why stop there? Why not take pity on the poor bedbugs that people kill on sight?
Fire hurt you, Ember. It's hard to love something that brings you only pain. That goes for people as well.
Do you really not understand why fire makes you uneasy? Or are you just looking for sympathy?
Do surface assassins have any hobbies? Knitting, embroidery, pottery?
Interesting question, lad. I tie strong knots and snares that tighten in an instant. I suppose you'd call that macrame?
You know, you could at least try to look like you give a damn about anyone but yourself.
Do my ears deceive me? Is a paladin of Iomade encouraging me to lie?
People call you a freak. I don't know what that's like. I was the most desirable woman in my tribe. But I do know what it's like to have to hide your rage. You don't have to pretend with me.
They call me a freak, but they're really just scared because I'm different. How can I be angry at people who are scared?
You're a good man, Soziel. But I'm tormented by thoughts of how I would have broken you, how I would have destroyed you and mocked your goodness. I feel like I've wronged you.
I know. The old Urushale would have done those things. But you are a different person. I can see that. I trust you.
Your ancestors were the first crusaders who followed the queen herself. Doesn't that make you proud?
I'm proud of the strength and the iron will they passed down to me. I couldn't care less who they followed.
When you get to know people a little better, you'll see where I'm coming from. You've got it in your head that being mortal's some great thing, but it ain't all it's cracked up to be.
You feel the pull of your heritage. It beckons to you, but take my advice. Resist its call. You will find no happiness among demons.